Hello everyone, this is Music and All, back at it with another video. And if you haven't guessed by the title of this video, we're going to be talking about male manipulators. More specifically in BLs, because if you don't know, that's mostly the type of content that I watch, unless y'all tell me to watch other stuff. But since nobody tells me to do that, I'm not going to. So let me know if y'all have any recommendations or specific shows that I missed or I need to check out. And before I get started, I hope you all like, comment, and subscribe so I can reach my goal of 1K subscribers by the end of this year. Woo! Hopefully. I just want to provide a disclaimer real quick too, that this tier list and everyone on it is a mix of my opinion and a subreddit on Reddit. If you don't like this opinion-based video, I suggest you click off or take it up with Reddit. Also, for those who haven't seen the shows / movies in question or forgot the little details like me, I'll be providing the synopses for each show and movie as well. Lastly, I just want to mention that if I butcher any names, I sincerely apologize in advance. Also, I will be mentioning things like SA, DA, DV, drugs, alcohol, tobacco, adulterous acts, and things of that nature. So if you can't handle that stuff, for whatever reason, this won't be the video for you. It's going to be scattered throughout, so I can't even provide timestamps. So before I get into actually ranking all of these, I wanted to explain each tier, with the highest tier being jail with no parole. I put this because I would realistically have it like this, where the character went there if it was up to me. Also, like, I don't want some of these characters to see the light of day again, so, you know, they don't deserve parole. They don't get the opportunity to be a functioning member of society like the rest of us. Next, county jail minimum. These men need to face some type of jail time, a little restraining order, if you will, a little probation, a little something. And I think in certain Asian countries, maybe, if not all, they don't actually have counties like we do in the US, but rather like provinces. So I guess province jail minimum, like local police type stuff. And then if you get a nation type jail, then that's where you need to be next. So the nation jail will be jail with no parole, where all the baddies go. And then the county jail, where you're handcuffed sitting on that bench for a day or something while you wait to be transferred. That's this tier. Additionally, seek professional help stat. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory, along with the last two being just break up, and the last tier being why are y'all still together? So, with all of that yap said, we can finally get into the shows and the movies and the goodies. So, numero uno, we gotta start off strong. It's Huayong from ABO Desire. On the edge of death, Shen Xiaoyu meets someone who seems like his exact type, a delicate white lotus kind of beauty, the kind you'd want to pluck, keep in a vase, and admire forever. But turns out, this boy isn't just a harmless lily. He's a ghost orchid, rare and unpredictable, with charm that's deadly, elegant, and darker than expected. When obsession meets something untamable, who's really going to end up devoured? I would say seek professional help stat, realistically, because it's an ABO universe and he's Enigma. So even if I had it my way, this rich man will not be seeking jail time. And I know the novel is worse, where he was out here killing people. That wasn't in the show. Also, I've never read the novel, so I can't confirm or deny that. But this man was a menace to society. For the novel Huayong, I would definitely put him in jail with no parole. But for ABO Desire, I think seek professional help is the highest we can go because of, you know, the social situation. Guys, am I supposed to do it as if, like, I wouldn't be taking these factors into account? Because if I weren't taking his societal and political and, you know, economic situation, girl, he would be doing jail time with no parole. This man was a black flag in the novel. In the show, I think he's more of a red flag. Still, he was, you know, manipulative. He was coercing Shen Xiaoyu. Is that his name? Girl, all of these names, memory doesn't serve me. Not the man he was trying to get with, but the other guy, like his foot soldier, basically. And girl, it was a mess. I'm not going to go into too many details because we have a lot more shows to cover, but trust me when I say this man needs to be stopped. Number 2, Fan Sha from To My Shore. Lu Fang, a director at a pharmaceutical company, lives an ordinary, stable life. But that all comes crashing down after he gets into a car accident with Fan Sha, the heir to a Thai conglomerate who's returned to China for business. Unlike Huayong, Fan Sha's life had been marred with instability, leading to a twisted, manipulative worldview. When Fan Sha finds out that Huayong is interested in men, he devises a plan to entice Huayong into a relationship, but ends up falling for Huayong for real. Huayong, on the other hand, is blindsided when he learns about Fan Sha's true colors. Will Fan Sha destroy the only genuine love he's ever had, or can he find a way to truly win Huayong's heart? He was doing whatever it takes to get that pussy. Like, okay, girl. And Huayong ended up finding out everything anyways, so I feel like, and Fan Sha ended up serving time in jail for like 6 months. Huayong sent an email basically exposing everything that Fan Sha was doing, and because Fan Sha was the whistleblower, he had to serve time, but, you know, he had a hard time in the jail. Wow, well me. Which, I don't know, I mean, at the end of the show, Huayong kind of forgave him still, and they made up, they got a little kid together, slay, and we still have yet to see that special episode, so we don't know what's gonna happen, but because Fan Sha already served time, and he came from, like, a rich background, I think I'll just put him in seek professional help stat. Next is Kelvin from Yesterday the series. The heir of the VPG group meets Kelvin, the second son of King group, and helps him fight for power against his half-brother Ken. After being betrayed, he fled to Chiang Mai for Nana's help. One day, Vier reunites with Kelvin. Together, they must face Ken, now married to Lao Lin and ruling Loi group, with their lives on the line. And I feel like Kelvin deserves county jail minimum because Vier forgave him too easily. Like the end of it was a special episode, and Vier was basically saying that, you know, he had a bad upbringing. You know, Vier was basically saying that Kelvin was a product of his environment, which is like, okay, but that doesn't mean that him locking you up, chaining you to his basement, lying to you, stealing company documents, recording private conversations, using you, manipulating you. It's like, girl, stop. He literally made up his entire existence and motivations for a lot of his actions just to get you to help him, and then when you try to get close to other people, he nipped that junk in the bud. No. And, you know, given Kelvin's perspective, and even in the special episode he wanted to repent, I feel like if if Vier was like, I want you to go to jail. Also, this man is the reason why Vier's friend is dead. Like, he beat him to a pulp, and then after the friend escaped, he ended up getting kidnapped by Ken. Like, girl, you need to stop. You all need to stop. And it's like, Kelvin was also the reason why Vier fled to Chiang Mai anyways, and then you placed the bounty over his head. Like, did Vier forget all of this? Maybe getting kidnapped just made him have, like, memory loss, because there's no way you went through all of this and you still want this man back? No, this can't be. So I feel like if Vier would have told Kelvin, I want you to go to jail, in order to prove that, you know, you're a changed man, then Kelvin would do it. Because even in the special episode, Kelvin was unsure why Vier was even with him. Like, there was uncertainty, girl, and I'm uncertain too. So I think in that case, Kelvin deserves county jail minimum. Like, he needs to do some time. He needs to do some real repenting, because Kelvin just forgave him. They didn't really work on their relationship. They didn't really get couples counseling. It was, girl, I don't know. The last couple episodes, I'm like, whatever. Next up, Vegas from Ken Porsche. Since Vegas is a part of the side couple, he's not in the synopsis, but I'll still put up the synopsis. The second son of a mafia boss, Ken, is fleeing from an enemy when he meets Porsche, an enterprising young bartender. Porsche agrees to help defend Ken from his attackers for a price. Porsche's martial arts skills impress, and spurred by his father, Ken seeks to hire Porsche as one of his personal bodyguards. Porsche is opposed and rejects Ken's offer despite his attempts at intimidation. It isn't until Porsche's family home and his ability to care for his brother are threatened that acquiesces and moves into the Tita Pan Yakul property, so Ken's family's property. It's not a smooth transition into the unorthodox, violent job, and his relationship with Ken vacillates between strained and playful. When his feelings for Ken take an unexpected turn, his work becomes even more high stakes. Okay, girl, where do I even start? There was SA, torture, obsession, codependency. I'm like, girl, you know it's bad when the actor has to clock the fans for saying that Vegas is a green flag. This man was like, no, guys, no, Vegas is a black flag. Stop with the delusions. I don't know what character you're seeing, but it ain't him. I'd say seek professional help. Again, not because I genuinely believe that he shouldn't be getting jail time. He definitely does. Given his social, political, and economic state.
Oh my God, like, can we talk about, like, the political and economic state of the world right now?
Girlie is not seeing the jail cell. Let's be for real. What he can do is get professional help to overcome that trauma from his childhood. Also, I feel like a lot of the other characters need a little bit of therapy too. Girl, no, the dad did some behind the scenes stuff that was toxic. Vegas's dad was toxic, perpetuated domestic abuse onto Vegas. Not so much Macau, thank goodness, still horrible. But as the oldest son, you have a lot of weight on your shoulders. That doesn't make it okay, but I'm just glad one child was protected just a little bit. So yeah, there was a lot of really bad, toxic individuals in the show. But for a mafia-related show, what else is new? Nexty. We got two characters they can. We got Jamon and Suian from Secret Relationships. That a smart and handsome salaryman, often clashes with his colleague Sungyeon. These relationships become more and more ambiguous as time progresses, while other figures like Jamon, a former tutor, and company heir Suian make their way into his life. What shape will this love square end up turning into? I'll start with Jamon because I'm pretty sure he ended up going to jail at the end for kidnapping and trying to kill people, specifically Da-on and the very puppy-like guy, I forget his name. Horrible, he was very manipulative. He had the tendencies to be abusive, which I think he did abuse Da-on, like, later in the show when he wasn't getting his way. Like, he would just go from 0 to 100, very unhealthy. He had the mentality of, like, if I can't have you, no one should, especially in the last episode. I think there was levels to secret relationships. I think that was the point where you have one end of the extreme to the other, where the puppy guy, I still don't remember his name, the one that Da-on works with, he was the greenest of green flags. Like, I don't remember him having any, like, major problems or whatever. Like, Suian could be seen in the middle where, he was still a red flag, but he wasn't as bad as Jamon, where Jamon was stalking, trying to kill people, domestic abuse, girl, the whole 9 yards. And for that, they both belong in jail with no parole. We have Lu Fang from Round Trip to Love. Girl, I don't know how many times I can keep bringing this up, but if you haven't seen my two videos on that, go check them out. I'll be linking them in the description box, and I'll be putting a pin somewhere. Hopefully it's going to be at the spot, but please check them out. This is the synopsis for Round Trip to Love. Lu Fang and Xiao Chen are two university students who fall madly in love with each other. However, when their families discover them, they oppose and try to separate them. Lu Fang's father sends his son to Hong Kong. When Xiao Chen must face the prejudices and isolation he suffers in college because of his sexuality. Several years later, both young people meet again, but this time in a company as boss and employee. Both discover that they still have feelings for each other and become lovers. But happiness evades them again. Their relationship soon becomes a disease. I don't even know where to start. I'm not even gonna start because, girl, I made a whole 2 videos worth of rants about them. But according to the masses, the novel is worse, and, it had Lu Fang drugging Xiao Chen. SA, it was very toxic. And, the second movie was more toxic than the first one. So for that, I want to say jail with no parole. However, because of Lu Fang's situation, yeah, I'll just say jail with no parole because of what happens at the end. However, the people that read the novel said it was a good ending, and Double Helix is coming out, which is also an adaptation of the same Round Trip to Love novel, and I swear to God's green earth, where if it has a happy ending, I'm not watching it. Okay, we have The Shortest Distance is Round. Haruto spends a lonely high school. The new teacher Oyama cares about him and starts an exchange diary. Haruto gradually opens up, but one day when he is resting because of a cold, he was kissed by Ayoma, who came to visit him. Agitated by the sudden incident, Haruto violently refused, and Ayama was chased away from teaching. 3 years later, Haruto, who graduated from high school and became a host, has debts and sells his body, but suddenly he meets Oyama again. Now, most of the characters throughout the 3 movies, well, technically 4 if you're counting the first movie, and how it has 2 different endings. I think it has, like, Blank and Noir. I don't remember, girl. where in one is like, oh, whatever, 13 plus, and then Noir is the 18 plus ending or whatever. I don't remember the difference. Regardless, I don't remember the names of the characters because, you know, it has a lot of SA, DA, girl, people getting pimped out, SH. I mean, I can't keep up. And it got to the point where you can't even, like, feel bad for the main character because he was inflicting some of the problems too. And I'm like, bro, y'all, why are we cutting off genitalia? Why are we, you know, crippling people? Hopefully that's not a slur. Ooh. But genuinely, he was fighting the one guy's, like, play thing, and he, you know, chopped off his genitalia, and because of that left him, like, crippled or something. Or he had to use a arm thing so he can walk properly because it left him, like, limping. I don't remember what the war was, but that junk was crazy. It was crazy. Crazy. Girl, we're doing jail with no parole. Okay, now we have Shiaan from Uncontrolled Love. A young Suian is a lonely kid who is living in an orphanage where he hopes to find a good family that loves him. This is where Shiaan, the son of a real estate magnate, adopts him. He works as a page boy for him until Shiaan went abroad to study. 6 years later, Shiaan returns home when he is 25 years old and reunites with Suian. Shu's secret crush on Shiaan is revealed and the chaos occurs. Xie, not being able to handle the situation due to his tendency of homophobia, sends Shu away from his sight. Soon after, Shiaan realizes that Suian is the only one who can help stabilize his temperament and gradually realizes his true feelings for Shu. However, many obstacles will appear between them. From what I remember, there's 2 different endings, and the first ending is where the orphan, I forget his name, it's in the synopsis that I filmed earlier, but the orphan dies. I'm pretty sure, haven't seen this movie in like 2 years. And the second ending is the alternate ending, the happy ending, yucky, when the rich guy, Shiaan, goes out and tries to find the orphan, and like years later, I think either 3 or 5 years later, something like that, he sees this guy that was limping cleaning up in a park. So he's like screaming after this guy, and the guy tries to run away.
That don't work. There's no way out of this one. You're done.
There's 2 movies, and I'm going to react to them eventually. That's why I'm not going to rewatch the movie or insert clips, I don't think, because I'm not spoiling it for you. I'll probably spoil the ending because I just said it. But that shit was crazy. It's crazy. It was a lot of like abuse, and possessiveness. It was a mess. I don't remember the details, but I'm glad I don't, because that reaction is coming soon, guys. But because Shiaan is from a rich family, once again, that we're seeing a common theme, he is not going to be serving any time. It was a master and indentured servant type relationship, and like I said, because of his socioeconomic situation, he's just gonna have to seek professional help. Unfortunately, if I had it my way, it would be I would say county jail, but realistically that's not going to be enough for him to see the errors of his way. So I would say jail with no parole. But again, he's a rich man. I am a rich man. That's on the spot. Anyways, we have V from Love Mechanics. Girl, I love me some Yin War down. But this right here, it was messy. When a junior woos V's friend Bar, swearing to love only one in life, Bar has to cut ties with Mark. But God plays a joke on them, and something happens between V and Mark. Mark chooses to tuck away and draws an end to it. However, V doesn't want an end with Mark. Mark himself loves V, although he knows V has a beloved girlfriend. Will the love between them make it? When will the awkwardness break out? What will V do? And the novel is worse, and I still haven't finished it. I think I said in one of my past videos, I don't know if I edited it. I don't know if I took it out, but I've been trying to finish this novel for months. But, you know, there is a second novel which has Mark cheating on V, which I think is well deserved. But then again, why? What is the rhyme or reason? Girl, what is the rhyme or reason? Now that I'm making this video, I would say he was an emotional manipulator. And I feel like some parts could be emotional abuse, because he would keep telling Mark that, hey, I'm gonna break up with Chloe, like, don't worry, baby, like, I will do it. But that was just him saying all this stuff just to keep Mark around, despite the uncertainty that he had with his own relationship with his girlfriend. Even after finding out that Chloe cheated, he didn't even believe Mark at first, but it took another friend, I'm pretty sure it was Bar, that was like, hey, no, yeah, I saw the same thing, for V to be like, oh yeah, my bad. Like, it got to the point where Mark went home to his homophobic dad and his mom just for V to realize, yeah, I messed up big time. Hey, girl. But V is toxic. Like, he literally SA'd Mark in the first 5-10 minutes of the show just so Mark can stop having a crush on Bar. It's like, girl, there are other methods to the game. That doesn't mean sleep with someone and pretend to be Bar while also saying, yeah, I'm not Bar. So it's like, you have a girlfriend, you're straight, you SA'd him for what reason exactly? And he just was stringing Mark along. But then again, Mark had no backbone, because there was Nua right there. And Nua is rich, V is poor. And Nua was treating Mark better in those like 30 minutes of their interaction throughout the show than V had ever treated him. And it's like, Mark is rich too. You're doing all this. You love a poor man down so much that you're going through all of this emotional turmoil. Girl, just for you to go and cheat in the second novel. I don't know the deets, but because I'm trying to keep the novels in mind, I'd say just break up. However, I don't know. I feel like county jail minimum. Like, it's hard because there's multiple reasons why V is a bad person. And, you know, he should do some jail time. I don't think jail with no parole is... That's heavy. It's heavy. If I had a middle category, then yeah, he would be there. But I think he needs to do some time in the slammer for that essay, because that was unacceptable. No. I think in the novel he was a repeat offender. Like, where Mark was clearly saying, like, no, I don't want that. And V was just going in raw, if you know what I mean. If you're picking up what I'm putting down. No preparation whatsoever. And Mark was bleeding afterwards. Mind you, Mark was a top, and V forced him to bottom. Because in the novel, which I wish they would have explored in the show, like at least with some narration. Mark was a top, and like with all of his relationships before V, he never bottomed, like not even if it was an option. So after V SA'd him, that's all he knew, was just bottoming. And I think over time he enjoyed it, but like let's be so for real. We would have ate down with that switch representation, but because of the actors that they picked, Shiaan and War, I don't think we'll ever see them in like a switch role. I wish. I made a video about that too. And I wish it would have happened. Last but not least in this category is revenge love / falling in love with the rival. Now there was multiple characters that were toxic AF. Born into a humble family with little financial success, Wu Wei finds himself constantly insulted by his much wealthier now ex-girlfriend. He decides to reinvent himself and start his own business, only to constantly cross paths with Chi Cheng, the spoiled heir to his own family business. When Wu Wei finds out that his ex is dating Chi Cheng, he decides to go and get revenge by seducing Chi Cheng himself. Despite having no previous romantic inclination towards man, Wu Wei gives it his all and manages to win Chi Cheng over, but is shocked to find himself developing genuine romantic feelings. As their lives grow increasingly tangled together, things only get more complicated for Wei. Will this unexpected love story work out, or has Wei's plan gone too far? So the first character I want to mention is Wu Wei, because girl, in what world you get broken up with for being a brokey, so then you decide to change your entire personality to get with the person that your girlfriend broke up with you for? Girl, how about we move on? And it's like, I don't even care if he actually gained feelings for Chi Cheng eventually. That was just wrong. Girl, that is lying and manipulation. And it's like, Chi Cheng was a freak. He was a freak. Freak McNasty, nasty, freak McNasty. In the words of Jay Park, that controversial man. Freak McNasty. Because why are you over here, like, having sex on the phone? Unprompted. But I'm like, brother in Christ, you little horn dog, slow it down. Make it bouncy. And because Lu Wei's doctor friend, I forgot his name, was in on the bit.
A cheater, a sinner, and a homosexual.
You're not the nicest person on this app.
I sure ain't, but I'm the most Christian.
And, you know, all of them to some extent, like the brother of Chi Cheng's ex, girl, toxic. The ex, toxic. I don't remember, it's like, you know that this man moved on after waiting for you for 6 years, and you, girl, no. Y'all all need to go. I think, none of this was too bad, if I remember correctly. So I'm just gonna say Secret Professional Hope Scap. Yeah, I think that's good. I think that's good. So for the rest of these, they're gonna be honorable mentions only because I don't remember them enough to comment on them personally. But like I said in the beginning, I did scour Reddit for these to get some consensus amongst the masses. So the first up on honorable mentions list is Type from Tarn Type. Type, a handsome freshman passionate about soccer and spicy food, despises gay people due to childhood trauma. His life changes when he is forced to share a dorm with a charismatic and openly gay roommate Tarn, a compassionate music major. Type tries to get Tarn to leave, but Tarn refuses to give in. As they share a small space, will their relationship turn from hatred to love? He's known for being arrogant, possessive, and at times verbally and emotionally abusive. Yeah, girl. And then this man, I think in the 7 years later, when they were getting married, according to people, because I don't remember this, he was still saying he wasn't gay. Like, how? We are 7 years out of the university setting, and you're still talking about you're not gay? And some people genuinely believe they're not, where they're like, oh, I'm not gay, but I love my man. Or I'm not lesbian, but I love my woman. Oh, I understand that. But at some point, you gotta realize, you gotta accept the facts. Girl, no straight individual is gonna be dating another person of the same sex. No, we don't do that. We don't do that. So 7 years later, if you're still talking about, no, I'm not gay. Girl, you need to seek professional help. Actually, if you're that insistent 7 years later, why are you getting married for one? And two, why are y'all even together in the first place? If you're that against the gay people, then don't be gay. Literally, nobody's forcing your hand. Nobody's telling you to, give nor receive. Nobody's telling you to be the 0 or the 1. Nobody's telling you to be the top or the bottom. How about you remove yourself from the equation? And make it null? And so yeah, why are y'all together? Please. I'm not even gonna say break up or seek professional help. Why are we here? Why? Next, the novelist series. There was a lot of lying, manipulation, gaslighting, coercion from every party. Kazumi Haruhiko is a university student. One day, he causes a bicycle accident. The accident causes novelist Kojima Ryo to break his arm. Kazumi doesn't have insurance or money to pay Kojima for his injury. Kojima then asks Kazumi to transcribe a story he is writing. Kazumi is surprised to learn the story is obscene. There was a lot of lying, manipulation, gaslighting, coercion too, from all parties involved. Like, from the novelist guy, from the student, from the other guy that was the novelist's ex. Because of all this, I'd say, just seek professional help, girl. I would say why are y'all together, but anything to get the work done. I'm terrible. The novelist guy lied about the extent of the injury. No, did he lie about the extent of the injury? I think he did that too, but he was also lying about the novel because at the time nobody's really buying his stuff. It was a whole thing where he was just having the kid write to write, which is like, girl, I will write to write any day if it means I don't have to pay for medical bills, if it means I'm not gonna be in debt. So a win is a win if I win. Next is dangerous drugs of sex. I don't know if I have to censor that. I don't think I said sex before. Oops. Well, after attempting to commit Sudoku, elite office worker Katsuragi Makoto wakes up bound in an unfamiliar place where he meets his captor Yoden Ryuji, who forces a horrible life of SA and confinement training on Makoto. The two start bonding and each begins to recall the tragic past that led them to this deranged situation. I can recall this, but I'm not gonna provide details because it was like, whew. There was a lot of SA. There was just a lot of emotional abuse. It was very heavy hitting. And the guy was kidnapped. I don't know how they're trying to spin it to where they both wanted to be in that situation. No, he was a doctor saving somebody from committing Sudoku, and as a result they did all of these things, but it was forced upon the guy that was about to commit Sudoku, so it was consensual. Some people consider it like dubious consent, but I don't, because bro, like the entire time I was like, nah, we're not, no. Girl, there was denial. So no, jail time with no parole for the doctor. I did not put his name, but it's in the synopsis, so oh well. Next is double mints. I feel like there was a lot of like manipulation, lying, coercion, similar to the novelist. Girl, what were we doing? We can't live without each other. You're my other half. I've killed a woman. The domineering voice on the phone was that of a high school classmate, Ichikawa Mitsuyo. Buried memories from the past resurface in the heart of a man with the same name, Ichikawa Mitsuyo. It drags him right back into the passions of the past. They reunite as accomplices, yet their relationship as master and servant slowly changes into something else. So for double mints, it was unhinged. It had the similar concepts of the novelist. They end up together, despite, burying a body, getting beaten to a pulp, evading the police, I think. I don't remember. It was crazy. It was, I mean, if you know somebody with the same name as you, maybe you can become a Bonnie and Clyde together. Bonnie and Bonnie. Well, there's two men, so Clyde and Clyde. You are the Bonnie to my Clyde. You are the rider down the rest of my life. Wait, would the Japanese movie We Ride be similar to that? Is it called We Ride? Girl, I don't know anything. Is it called Ride? I like that movie. That GL movie. Anyways, the one that was working with the Yakuza or something, he killed somebody, put him in the trunk, and buried them. Something like that. It was crazy. It was like a master and slave type relationship too, where the guy was like, I killed someone, and the person was supposed to be at his beck and call. But hey, despite getting like slashed in the face or something, they escaped on a boat together, so happily ever after, I guess. Next is Addicted. When I looked at this on my Jamon list, actually, the comment was like, kidnapping your lover to make them love you is not okay. I don't remember any of this. I know that they were stepbrothers per the synopsis. Ever since he was young, Bai Liu Yin had been living with his divorced, poor, and rather careless father, Bai Han Qi, and his grandmother. When he turned 16, his biological mother, Yang Yuan, announced that she was remarrying and her partner was rich, high-ranking official Gu Weiting. Because of his mother's death, Gu Weiting's son, Gu Hai, had been harboring a deep grudge towards his father and did not approve of the remarriage. Through a weird twist of fate, the two stepbrothers, with their widely conflicting familial and emotional backgrounds, end up being placed in the same class in high school. With time, they slowly developed a different kind of feelings for each other. Yeah, I know they were stepbrothers, and yep, that's about it. They said, as in like the masses said that Addicted, the novel, is worse. It was more heavy hitting, but because China got that censorship. Yeah, they got that censor. That was the era of peak. But we're back. Like, we're finding loopholes in the system, which good for y'all filming in Thailand, Singapore, literally everywhere else. For that, kidnapping, I think county jail minimum. I don't remember the details, so I can't be specific on that. But I love mechanics. I feel like if I had a middle category, I would put those two there, but unfortunately I don't, so they need to do some time. Just have an opportunity to go back into the wild. Next, the Chains of Hearts. When a younger forestry officer, Dan, gets involved with a gang of illegal smugglers, it causes him and Ken, a young man who had been in a relationship with him for more than 7 years, to be chased away. They are both cornered and fall from a steep cliff. After several months, Ken wakes up, but without his lover by his side. As the years go by, things start to go awry when someone appears and has a resemblance to his former lover. The old memories return and now circle around him. Ken begins to suspect that Dan might not be dead and that Dan might be this new person. So I'll say professional help. Yeah. History 1, Obsessed. History 4. And there was the history plot with the girl in the guy's body. I don't remember if that's History 1, Obsessed. Girl, History 1, y'all had a lot. History in general has some interesting plot. History in general had some interesting plots for whatever reason. Xiao Li Cheng, a top sales manager at a prestigious wedding planning company, excels at business but struggles with love. He's been in love with Liu Mei Fang since childhood and enlists coworker Teng Muren to pose as his boyfriend, hoping to spark Mei Fang's interest. Meanwhile, the company's creative director, Ye Xingxi, becomes entangled in a complex relationship with his stepbrother, Fu Yongjie, a medical student obsessed with him. As their emotions grow more complicated, the four men must confront their feelings and decide if they're ready to follow their hearts. So these all three, History 1 with the plot that goes in the guy's body, History 1 Obsessed, and History 4 all had a common theme of essay or just weird behavior. So again, this will be like a middleman type situation. I didn't include the pictures for all the histories, but I don't know. They need to serve some time. The time is dependent on the crime, but definitely I think they should still have the opportunity to be members of society eventually. Like Love, very toxic. An offbeat love story about An Ziyan and Mai Ding, who meet during military training on their college campus. Mai Ding makes the first move towards An Ziyan. Gradually, Mai Ding wins over Ziyan, and they develop a close romantic relationship. As their relationship strengthens, they begin to face many obstacles together. Yizan's sister, Anzu, swears to break them apart because she believes two men shouldn't be together. Other college students, jealous of Mai Ding, also try to break up their relationship. Will these two lovers overcome these obstacles together, or will they break up? Will their friends and family even accept their relationship? The one that was the nerdy one, he didn't really do anything for real. He was just getting shit on left and right by the one guy, yet you still kept coming back. So, I think one guy is rich. I don't remember. He needs to seek professional help because, he's not serving time, let's be for real. Beloved enemy, I don't remember this. I don't. Right on, elite businessman Gu Xinpei's first day of work at his new workplace, the chairman throws his vigorous and arrogant son Yuan Yang at him. Yuan Yang sees through Xinpei's hypocritical mask, but due to his father's pressuring him, he can't hit him. Therefore, Yuan Yang learns for the first time that there are things that can't be taken care of by money or fists. He continuously tries to get Xinpei into trouble, but Xinpei sees it lightly and calmly resolves every issue. However, things are about to change when Yuan Yang asks his friend to do a background check on Xinpei and finds his Achilles heel. I feel like I'll just say, why are y'all together? Because if he's bullying you or giving you a hard time, what do you think the relationship is gonna be like? Yeah, I'll just say, just break up. I feel like I'm really between why are y'all together and just break up, because if he's giving you a hard time while doing your job, what do you think the relationship's gonna be like? But also, he's a rich man, so nah. I am a rich man. So what do you think he's gonna do to you in a relationship? Next is White Knight. I mean, this was based on a true story. I don't remember the details. Wong-gyu, a steward, returns to Seoul 2 years after he left with a painful memory. He meets Tae-jun, acquainted on the web, and they have a special night at the place of Wong-gyu's bad memory. If someone sent me to a place where I got abused in any way, or if I felt uncomfortable being there, I wouldn't have like stuck around for that. It's really not that hard. So I'm like, I'm really contemplating, why are y'all even together? Y'all just say, why are y'all together? Because if you knew you had trauma there, why would you go back there? Check out Dao Nua, a working age man that just broke up with his first love, takes a vacation at the Air Khao Yai and meets Nine, a man that improves his mood after a short meeting. After Dao Nua returns, Nine disappears for 3 months. He tries to forget all about Nine by returning to the old life, working with T, who is the co-owner of the company Lode Star, where Dao Nua works, and his first love. Still, T wants a second chance to return to the relationship. The situation changes as the company has no income at the time, eventually forced out to hand out portfolios to potential customers. Nine agrees to help T as a former schoolmate. Dao Nua knows he wants to go back to Nine, but is reluctant as Nine has an on and off girlfriend. Yeah, so just break up. Yeah, just break up. Noticing, like, if your partner has another partner, why are we together? Just break up. If it's on and off again, wait for him to get out of the relationship. Don't. This is like a love mechanics all over again. Please get out of my face. Next, my stand-in. I don't really remember this show. I didn't like it in the moment. Joe, a stuntman for actor Tong, forms a deep bond with Ming, unaware that Ming sees him as Tong's replacement. After the truth is revealed, Joe tragically dies in an accident on a foreign set. He wakes up in the body of another man named Joe, who died the same day. With guidance, Joe resumes his former life and reconnects with Ming, who remembers the past and wants him back. As Ming searches for answers about Joe's new life, he seeks a chance to explain everything and reclaim what they lost. Yeah, I don't really have anything to say about it. I'll just say it's a lot. I say just break up. I don't really enjoy the show, so I wouldn't mind if y'all did. No, I didn't see Corn Things, the series, but, you know, people said they were toxic. It follows the friendship of two boys and the love that will blossom between them while on a community quarantine. During the lockdown, those who could go home went home. 2 of the 4 housemates from Judah and Rocky's place did. To each other's surprise, the 2, who've never even had a real conversation, were left behind. Now, they're left with nothing. The overachieving and competitive Judah can't go to school, while the hardworking and street-smart breadwinner Rocky is left without his various odd jobs. Unable to do the things that give them meaning, can they survive being alone together? If y'all had nothing in common, if y'all never talked before, why are we together? Ming from 2 Moons 2 and 2 Moons. Huayong is a freshman at a university that is also attended by his longtime secret lover, Pana, a second-year student. As the campus moon, Pa is extremely popular, but he does not seem to enjoy popularity at all. When Yo becomes the moon of his department, the 2 meet on a daily basis. Their relationship starts quite rough since Pa seems to pick on Yo, but things change. It says he's often noted for his manipulative and overly persistent pursuit of the other character. Hey, shout out to Pavel. I know Pavel was in here. I don't know if it was 2 Moons 2 or 2 Moons the Ambassador. If he was manipulative, and I think he just needs professional help. Aim with love. I tried rewatching this. I couldn't get into it, but trust, one of these days. The story follows Pab, an extract painter who was hired by the owner of a media agency, Maze, to do a painting at a celebrity's wedding. After a disastrous accident, Pab will start working for Maze to pay his debts. What starts as a not-so-friendly worker/employee relationship soon evolves into something more. It says he's known for playing mind games and acting in a bossy, controlling manner. Is this the character that Sing-To played? I think so. Because when I was watching, I'm like, girl, settle down. Settle down. I say seek professional help. I mean, he wasn't really doing too much. Tan Han Chan Lati, and specifically Tan Han, the neighbor, the girlfriend. Tan Lati, a shy, kind-hearted boy, has secretly loved his neighbor, Tan Han, for years. Tan has always treated him like family, but Chan Lati can only admire him from afar. When Tan becomes single, Chan Lati decides to transform his appearance to win his heart. As the relationship deepens, Tan becomes confused about his feelings. Though he denies it, he feels possessive and insecure when Chan Lati dates others. Things get much more complicated when Tan's ex-girlfriend, Aunt, returns, and her fans target him. Will Chan Lati and Tan's love triumph despite the obstacles? I know I didn't like this show, but that's okay because it ended up being a ghost ship. Not ghost ship, but a ship that sank. Because I think this was the first and the last show that they had together. What's his name, Mond? Pod? I think it's Pod. Pod and Cow Tongue, because Cow Tongue is with the first now. Anyways, Tan Han is criticized for his toxic, homophobic, and controlling demeanor. I do recall that. That's why I didn't really like the show. I skipped through it. I mean, I didn't really care for the couple to begin with. I don't even know why I watched it. I think I liked the side couple more, which was Mike and Top Tap, if I remember correctly. Which I don't. Memory does not serve me because I fucking hated the show. I would say, why are y'all even together? His girlfriend came back. He's homophobic to begin with. Like, why are we playing my face? Last but not least, I'll go one of the classics. 2016 Sodas. The gear is one of the engineering mechanical devices in the cogwheel system, as in a clock. Having one signifies that one is a student of the Faculty of Engineering. However, to get one, all engineering freshmen must first undergo the SOTUS, acronym for Seniority, Order, Tradition, Unity, and Spirit System. Art Hit, one of the third-year seniors, often abuses his power over the freshmen by making them do things against the rules. Freshman students are practically powerless to complain or resist any orders given by their seniors. Art Hit was seemingly unstoppable until Kong Pop stood up against the abuses by the former. Continual encounters between the two developed from animosity to something more affectionate. Mentioned for manipulating the relationship by forcing the other person to suffer due to uncertainty and need for validation. I need to rewatch Sodas because I know at the time I remember liking it. I remember watching all the interviews. And does anybody remember the interview with them on the steps? Maybe that was the behind the scenes stuff. Girl, I just remember them randomly talking on the steps about the show, I think. I don't remember. If you're forcing somebody to suffer, I'm in between seek professional help and just break up. Girl, you know what? Just break up. Break up with your boyfriend. Yeah, because I'm bored. I don't really have any closing remarks. Let me know if you want a part 2. This was not a lot of characters, so imagine what I would have done, how long it would have been if I did more. But I didn't. So peace, love, see you in the next one. Bye.